This is the Casio GSI, an action camera made by Casio, inspired by G-Shock design. Great looking, sick design, but software, image processing capability of this thing is junk, and this is the reason why it fails. And same could be said in my opinion. But I watched a little bit of reviewing today. As the title suggests, this is the GBA-900 G-Shock G-Squad watch with Bluetooth and step tracking sensor built inside of it. And coincidentally, it looked kind of similar, right? In terms of its design. Regardless guys, one of the reasons why this watch fails is the timing. First of all, it was released back in 2021 on the month of April during the pandemic, which means even if you got one, you can't really use one. So there's that. Second of all, literally like 3 months after they came out with this one came out again April 2021. On the month of July, Casio came out with this GBA-900, which literally overshadowed this GBA-900 series G-Shock watch. But this watch is making a comeback. Casio just announced on the month of April 2024, 3 years afterwards, that they'll be coming out with this GBA-900 again, but now they updated just a little bit. Not the movement though, but the display panel. Since notice that this one comes in negative, the one will be coming out on April will comes in positive display, which significantly will affect the usability of this thing. Notice as I'm filming this video, you could already see it. I'm struggling to show to you guys that display panel because it is so small. They jam pack a lot of information in there, and it came a negative at display at the same time, which makes it unusable. Keep in mind, this is not MIP display like one of these. This is just a standard negative display on a G-Shock, which known to be impractical. And this watch cost you 18,700 Japanese yen back then. But lucky for me, because this watch is, it's not the best, I managed to pick one up at resale price using BUYEE Japan, which is the sponsor for today's video, at only 6,000 yen only, roughly around that price point, which I don't care anymore. At that price point, even though I'm not gonna be wearing it, I'm still gonna get it because I haven't got one, and this is the only, I would say, GBA-900 G-Shock in my collection so far. I did wear it though from time to time, just to try it out. The analog part works, it glows in the dark, it is an analog digital anyway, so you could use that. But the digital part, unless you could remember what the display is showing you, well, you can't. Maybe I'll try to, disassemble the watch and swap that display to positive ones in the future. But for now, let's have a look. Because despite being so bad, there's few little things that they did right. And for that, I'm gonna need to bring you guys all the way down here so we could have a closer look at it. With that said, now let's get to the actual review for the watch. Now, I'm gonna show you guys the test screen first because it is quite interesting. Press lab mode and start, just like that. There we go. And then press light button once, and then this start button twice. Once, twice, there we go. Now everything will just lights up. You could see some indicator on there. You could use this as the timer, program timer, or the alarm mode. Auto LED function, indicator over there, on or off. Graphics for seconds, since it did not have any moving second hands, as you guys already noticed. Bluetooth indicator over there. Alarm signal on or off indicator over here. Graphics for day display and for Bluetooth function as well. Time display, you got split lap. Auto light function, daylight saving time on or off. You got hand retraction function over here, and then kilocalorie or kilojoules. This is for calorie burn. You could swap them up. You could change between kilometer and miles as well, and then steps registered in the watch, because this is indeed a step tracker G-Shock watch with Bluetooth. Now press any button. Now you could see the day display. All right, pretty standard day, date, and time. Change the display to distance travel. Now 0 of course, but which is weird. Check this out. Even though there's no distance, it already registered in 712 kilocalorie burn, while 0 step registered. So that's one of the error for the watch, I think. And then that brings us to the stopwatch mode. This is the split function. The usual stopwatch part. You could change this display down here between pace or distance travel. There we go. And then if I stop this thing, it will automatically look at the arrow over there. Save this to the recall function at the next mode. Wait a bit until it says okay. Error. Alright, I don't know what's going on over there. Maybe it's too fast. Anyway, recorded data over here, total time and everything, pace and distance. You could see everything. Even kilocalorie burn registered in here. Pretty much like a usual step tracker smartwatch you get on the market. And then this is the program timer, pretty much the same as the workout timer of your GBA-900 actually, but different, I don't know, format or display. Very hard to set up, especially at the tiny display like this, and it came negative. But then again, you have Bluetooth function for that. Dual time, not one time, signal with a 5 alarm, and then we got back to home timekeeping. So one other cool thing is the fact that it has auto light function built inside of it. Look at that, it glows from that position over there. For the analog part, I did not see any LED backlighting for that digital portion, which makes this watch even worse. But then again, it has auto light function, which is pretty rare these days, so I appreciate that a lot. And that brings us to the Bluetooth mode. Press the start button over here and hold it, and then it will start pairing to your phone to the G-Shock Move app, which is again not the best, but it works. The pairing process is pretty straightforward. Just press start and hold until it says OK, then the watch is paired. Once I pair this the first time, the first thing that they'll do is they update the software of the watch from the app, which is kind of cool. I just paired this watch to my phone a couple days ago and it still updates, which is something they did right. Next up, here is the app interface. Well, if you used this thing before, it's pretty basic, straightforward, but a bit clunky, a bit bulky, but then again, it is a G-Shock. I think it matches. It is pretty bulky. Next up, you go to the More tab over here. Here is where you could set up everything for the watch. Notice that it has a GPS function over here and auto function. This is for the auto light part just now. You could set the distance travel for the watch to calculate, or if you bring your phone along with the watch as you go out running, you use the GPS out of your phone instead of the step tracker information from the watch to calculate the distance. So in a way, the phone completes the watch because it is as it is. It's not the best thing, but since you have your phone with you, if you always carry them around, you could make this watch much more, I don't know, accurate. Aside from that, you could set everything. Since it is so hard to operate, you could set everything like I already said before from your phone with all this listed function over here. Now, I don't always carry my phone along with me all the time, which makes this GPRH arrangement much more feasible for my kind of situation. But sometimes I always just leave this phone outside. I don't always carry it, I just still use it because there's one other thing that really makes this watch, I don't know, perfect in comparison to other G Squad that they release even up to this date. One thing, the only thing, if I could only say one thing that they did right for the watch, and that would be this smoky part down here. Let's have a better look. And for that, I'm gonna need to put this watch on my wrist and show you guys how it looks like. Check this out. I'm wearing it at hole number 3 from the top from my 16.5 centimeter circumference wrist. This watch serves a really perfect fit. Now check this out. The holes over here is first of all bigger than usual, which serve a better, I don't know, ventilation. Second of all, the placement also really important. Unlike on the GBA-900, it was placed on the side of my wrist, which is weird. It served no purpose. It looked good though, but in this case, it's placed at the top. You could literally see my skin down there, which is nice. By the way, guys, this thing actually ventilates better than this guy, and that is already good enough for me. Plus, this is probably the best one yet, is the fact that the wing is screwed down to the stainless steel backplate all the way to the casing itself, which means this part is permanent. You cannot move those. Unlike on the GBA-900, every time you move your wrist around or as you're running or as you're working out, this thing will flex and literally bite on your wrist hair, which is a big annoying, especially when you're trying to focus on really hard activity. This watch serves that function really well because now it cannot move, it cannot bite on your wrist anymore, which is very nice. Even though this thing could do a lot of function, but over time as you're wearing it, it could get annoying. And that's where this watch comes in. So even though originally when I got the watch, I don't think I'll end up wearing the watch as often, but you know what? As I get to know it, this watch has a place on my wrist at the end of the day, except for that negative display. But maybe I could do a few things, maybe swap them up to a positive display in the future in the disassemble video. But for now, I'm really liking the watch so far. Speaking of something that I like, I also like the fact that it has different texture and finishing on the watch face itself. Look at that glossy index marker, textured faceplate, hairline finishing for the ring on the eye there, plus a gloss finishing on top of that as well, which is really weird combination. But overall, I love the watch face design. It is beautiful. You know what? There's a lot of other G-Shock out there if you're really looking for function. In my case, I'm gonna combine both function and fashion, and this watch really ticked that box for me. Now, Aside from that, everything is just standard texture on the strap. The band is tapered a little bit, unlike on this GBA-200, which is squared off. On the other side, also just exactly the same. The buckle feature plastic buckle, cast with tie line sign, standard band keeper, single horn, and stainless steel back. Everything else just standard. The buttons also they're usable. I'm not gonna complain as much. It didn't have any texture though, which is weird, but then again, totally fine. Now for the price, I'm paying about 6,000 yen only, totally fine. So if you're thinking of getting one, I wouldn't recommend you to get one at retail, okay? There's other better deals out there, such as this GBA-200. So if you're thinking of getting one, maybe go to the link down in the description box, sign up to Buy Japan totally for free. Shout out to them though. Now you can pick this up at a much cheaper price on their Yahoo Japan auction site. Pick one in used condition. Whatever you do, please try your best to find one below retails. That will be much better values. Okay, that's it from me. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be see you guys in the next one.